Well, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm obviously not Mayor Longwell. He is on official business in Kansas City with some other mayors from the region, and so I'm doing his media briefing this morning. First of all, would like to talk about skilled workforce, and everybody knows that that's essential to the health and vitality of our community and really any community. And so today we have an update on the Wichita-Sedgwick County Action Partnership, which has applied for and was recently awarded a $30,000 discretionary grant for an innovative project. And so staff put together an application for the program centering around job training for youth ages 18 through 23 who have exited and are aging out of foster care. And with some changes that have happened recently in the foster care system, these programs are more and more necessary in our community. So that being said, I will turn it over to Michelle Rucker. She's a program manager for Wichita-Sedgwick County Community Action Partnership. And she will tell you more about the program and how you guys can help. Michelle?
Thank you, Councilmember Clendenin. Good morning. My name is Michelle Cole Rucker, and as Councilmember Clendenin mentioned, I am the program manager for the Wichita-Sedgwick County Community Action Partnership, or our acronym is WSCAP. We are a division of the Housing and Community Services Department, and all of the services that we provide under that umbrella are for low to moderate income people. WSCAP receives funding from the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation, Topeka, Kansas, who receives allocations from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. We work with individuals and families to help them alleviate barriers that are keeping them from becoming financially independent or self-sufficient. The $30,000 discretionary grant that we received from the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation funds a program that we call Youth Employment Training 3, or the acronym YETUP 3. The funding will provide youth ages 18 to 23 who have exited or are aging out of foster care with an opportunity to receive vocational training, housing resources, case management activities designed to result in self-sufficiency. Training and subsequent job placement will be aligned with local emerging and competitive industries that are in need of a skilled workforce. These interventions then will promote a successful transition to adulthood and facilitate a natural path out of poverty. So the purpose of the program is to promote youth development so that the opportunity for economic empowerment is created. Opportunities that the youth will be able to receive is individual case management with a family development specialist, introduce youth to employment skills training, financial literacy, and other essential skills training, and then also connect them to supportive services, affordable housing resources, and benefits that we've leveraged through community partnerships. To be eligible for the program, a youth must be 18 to 23 years of age and have exited or will be exiting out of foster care. The youth must be a Wichita or Sedgwick County resident, and then also must meet the income guidelines at 125% of federal poverty level. The YETUP 3 program aligns with the comprehensive housing policy with the City of Wichita to maintain housing affordability, and it actually then fits into WSCAP's goal of alleviating barriers of poverty in the community. By us providing 21st century skills, youth become eligible earners at higher wages so that housing remains affordable for all. Program referrals are accepted from community agencies that are already working with youth who are exiting from foster care. The City of Wichita has been a community action agency for over 30 years, and we have provided workforce development and placement services. We are so very proud of the services that we have provided over the last 3 decades and the impact to Wichita's workforce. Again, we are still accepting referrals. We have space that are available to enroll additional youth. So if you know of a youth who is aging out of foster care or has aged out of foster care who might benefit from this program, or if you would just like more information about what we do, please call us at 316-462-3775 Or you can also visit us at City Hall, 455 North Main, 10th floor, Wichita, Kansas, 67202. Thank you.
I have a couple of questions, sorry. How long has this program been in place, and how many people have gone through this program so far?
It's been in place. We received the grant the end of last year, and so it's been a process of receiving referrals, meeting with different partnering agencies, and just going out making presentations. We anticipated providing services to 15 to 20 youth. Right now, we have 6 youth that are enrolled in the program, but we are still receiving referrals. We do have space available.
Do you have metrics in place to determine and follow outcomes, to see how successful this program is?
We will just follow them one-on-one. They're actually assigned to a case manager, and so we will follow them that way. Even though once the grant deadline for suspend the funds will end, we will continue to work with them until they feel like they've achieved their goals, and we feel the same.
How much is 125%?
That would be like for a family of one. The most that individual could make would be like $15,175. I also have brochures that I can give you that will give the whole matrix of the income guidelines. For a family of 4, that would be like $31,375.
These are not, I guess, 18-year-olds, 23-year-olds aging out of the foster care system are likely to be families of 4.
Sometimes, but generally it's a family of 1, because once they age out, then they've aged out. And there's a lot of barriers that they have.
What about that? Can these be used for college?
Vocational training, so post-secondary vocational training. Pretty much the funds that we received is a small grant, $30,000, and actually a pilot program. So more so vocational training that they would need to secure a good job, in a skilled workforce.
How much does it cost to provide the vocational training?
Depends on the training. It could be anywhere from someone who wants to go into the medical field, which could be $600 to $1,000. We have persons who call us all the time about wanting to take CDL training, and that could be up to $3,000. So it really depends on the training that they are seeking to become, as far as the career goal.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. And I would ask anybody in here to continue following stories like this, because the plight of youth coming out of foster care system, it's a tough road. And those kids a lot of times don't have documentation to get jobs and be able to go get training. And so these types of programs are extremely important, not only to help fight poverty, but crime and just the overall quality of life here in Wichita. So a very, very important initiative. Thanks, Michelle, again. Appreciate it. All right. Now I would like to talk about the South Central neighborhood in Wichita. This is the neighborhood directly south of downtown, straight down Broadway. From Kellogg to Pawnee and the river to Washington, South Central neighborhood. Thank you, Jackie. We have, as everybody knows, we sold the Hyatt. We have some grant funds that were designated for each neighborhood or each district in Wichita. Well, the South Central Neighborhood Association, which we refer to as SCNA, was awarded a $50,000 neighborhood preservation grant from District 3's Hyatt grant funds. The grant will allow city staff to facilitate and assist in the creation of a revised neighborhood plan. The update of the plan will include updates to Chapter 2, which are current trends of the 2006 plan, to include recent demographic trends, housing and development trends, economic trends, physical assets in the neighborhood, and zoning and land use revisions. A new community survey will be used to gauge opinions of residents, which this is extremely important. In addition, SCNA volunteers from the neighborhood will partnership with other neighborhood nonprofits and will give residents the ability to give feedback in neighborhood meetings. The meetings will be held in different locations through the neighborhood, including businesses, churches, the Child Advocacy Center, and public places such as Lincoln Park and the Water Center. Resident input will be received at block parties throughout the neighborhood, especially the neighborhood night out gathering that will be coming up. Once input is received, SCNA and other committed neighbors will work together with staff to set goals and to create and implement this plan. This project will not only result in a relevant, up-to-date neighborhood plan reflecting the current views of residents, but will also highlight the assets of the neighborhood and allow residents to build on these strengths. And I think this neighborhood is, many of the assets are overlooked, and so this is an exciting thing to happen. The plan will guide the South Central Neighborhood Association and its neighborhood partners in choosing specific projects on which to focus their energies and resources, as well as provide a basis from which residents can advocate for themselves and the neighborhood moving forward. Community conversations will energize residents and engage them in the process of improving their very own neighborhood. I'm excited about it. We have Jackie here today from the Neighborhood Association. She's the vice president, and we'll take any questions you may have for either one of us. Congratulations, SCNA. Yep, you bet.
You said this was last planned in, was it 2006, 2008?
Yes. Mhm.
2006. What happened to the 2006 plan?
It's still in effect. Many of the goals have been accomplished, but many of the goals are outdated as well. And so we want to actually, it was actually Jackie's idea for us to go back and go through the neighborhood plan and make sure that everything was still relevant, but also add some of the desires and wants of the current neighborhood. The Broadway corridor, we talk a lot about Broadway corridor, we talk about crime, we talk about a lot of the negative things, but there are so many positive things going on in that area, and we want to build on that.
Such as?
The Kansas Firefighters Museum is a great example. So many people, Lincoln Park is a great example. The river is a great asset that runs to the west of that neighborhood. The Lincoln Street Bridge and Dam, the new, what everybody refers to as the sidewalk to nowhere, which it's not. The sidewalk to the Lincoln Street Dam is an asset also that we've just put in the community that was actually named in the neighborhood plan in 2006. On top of it, I think the housing stock in the area, though it's old, it's historical. It is actually one of those, I think, diamonds in the rough. And hopefully will give developers an eye for the possibilities down in this area.
Now, when you say hopefully we'll give developers, are we talking about more riverfront apartments?
You know what? I don't think, I don't want to limit what the neighborhood wants to see. I think what we'll see is what the neighborhood wants, and that's what will be in the plan, not what I want or what specific developers want. But I'd love any developers or any of those people that have ideas to come alongside the neighborhood association to help some of those opportunities come to fruition.
Could you just talk a little bit about how these plans empower the residents to take ownership of their own communities as opposed to, depending upon the city to take care of it?
We know it's difficult when a community doesn't see a lot of investment happening in their area, and when the most investment that they see is just in law enforcement. That may seem like a positive thing, but it's nice to know that you don't have to have as much law enforcement in your neighborhood, right? And so when neighborhood association people in the neighborhood see the city caring and making an investment, it helps them care. And Jackie, I don't know if you want to say anything about that, but you need to come up here if you do.
I've heard quite a bit from the neighborhood already, because I get out, I walk the neighborhood. Most of Main Street knows me now because I do that. I have people that see my van and wave at me to get me to stop and talk about how to clean up Lincoln Park, or what can we do more with Herman Hill Park, or they would like to see more bus shelters, stuff like that. And I've had a couple of people that had, they bought that big, beautiful house that's across the street from Lincoln Park. She wants to start a coffee cafe in there, and I went through the house and it's gorgeous. And I'd like to help her do that.
What is the reactions from some of the other residents when they see you doing these things? Do you see them maybe getting some energy and wanting to participate in this?
Oh, yeah. I've even seen neighbors come out of the house and go meet their neighbor that's in the yard next door to them or across the street. Soci Life has graciously given us garden boxes that we can put out by the street and plant vegetables in, and anybody walking down the sidewalk can take what they need. We're putting little mini libraries in different places, and I've got a great response from that. I didn't realize we had so many readers in our neighborhood.
Yeah, we've watched as millions and millions of dollars have been spent on this side, the north side of Kellogg. South of Kellogg, not so much. How do you feel about that as a neighborhood resident, neighborhood leader?
I watched the development, and then I guess my upbringing has made me to where I can look at it and go, hey, that's coming my way. But I have to reassure my neighbors in the neighborhood that it's okay, it's coming our way. You just have to be patient and wait for the development to get to you. It's kind of like crocheting a blanket. You do it inch by inch. Well, this is block by block.
Diane, I want to dovetail a little bit on that. When we started developing downtown, the point of giving attention to our core was that we wouldn't continue to have decay out from downtown into the first and second rings of our city. My hope has always been exactly what Jackie said, and we didn't talk about this ahead of time, so wow, good answer. The hope has always been that the success of downtown would start to radiate out into the next ring. I think with this neighborhood plan, an updated neighborhood plan, which will take into consideration what's going on downtown and the nearby areas, will help that success come south. The first neighborhood plan in 2006 was done before we even had a downtown plan. And so this neighborhood's been involved trying to have redevelopment in their area for quite some time. And so now it's time. And by the way, downtown really is just a walk away from this neighborhood. So downtown.
It's basically the start of our blanket.
Yeah, that's the start of their blanket. There you go. Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you guys very much for being here. Have a good day.